Welcome to Delphica. Get ready to explore the most bizarre restrictions in North Korea. Let's start. Hairstyle regulations. In North Korea, the government maintains strict control over the hairstyles of its citizens. The authorities have established specific guidelines that dictate the acceptable length, shape, and style of haircuts for both men and women. These guidelines, commonly referred to as approved haircut models, outline a limited selection of hairstyles that individuals are permitted to choose from. For men, the approved styles often include variations of short, conservative cuts, with restrictions on hair length, sideburns, and bangs. Women are generally expected to adhere to hairstyles that are modest, neatly arranged, and avoid excessive volume or extravagant designs. Traditional and conservative styles are typically encouraged, while more avant-garde or Western-inspired hairstyles are discouraged or outright prohibited. Fast food absent. In North Korea, you won't find major multinational fast food chains like McDonald's, KFC, or Burger King. The country's closed economic policy and restricted access to foreign influences and investments have deterred the establishment of such franchises. The absence of these familiar fast food chains is emblematic of the isolationist nature of North Korea's economy. Instead, local food establishments and government-run restaurants cater to the culinary needs of the population, offering traditional Korean cuisine and some international dishes with a local twist. Hot water scarcity. In North Korea, taking a proper hot shower is a rare luxury that is nearly impossible for the majority of the population to enjoy. Instead, people often resort to visiting public bathhouses for their bathing needs. Whether in the capital city of Pyongyang or rural areas, households generally rely on wood-burning stoves for heating, and hot water from faucets is not readily available. The scarcity of hot water is a result of energy shortages and limited infrastructure. Public bathhouses have become essential gathering places where individuals can access heated water for bathing. These bathhouses provide a communal environment where people can experience the comfort of a warm shower, albeit for a fee. Limited automobiles and controlled bicycles. In North Korea, the presence of automobiles is uncommon, reserved as a luxury for the wealthiest individuals. Similarly, bicycles are also costly, making it difficult to find them outside of Pyongyang. Additionally, every bicycle must be registered and fitted with a license plate, allowing the government to exert control over the population's bicycle ownership. The limited availability of automobiles and the strict regulations surrounding bicycles illustrate the government's desire to maintain control and surveillance over transportation. Coca-Cola absent. Due to trade embargoes, finding a bottle of Coca-Cola in North Korea has been challenging. However, there have been reports that luxury shops in Pyongyang may sell Coca-Cola produced in China. The international commercial sanctions imposed on North Korea have limited the availability of popular beverage brands like Coca-Cola within the country. Women's resourceful alternatives. In North Korea, the availability of commercial sanitary products such as pads and tampons is limited or non-existent. Women face significant challenges in accessing these essential hygiene items due to economic constraints and trade restrictions. As a result, they resort to using old-fashioned, reusable alternatives. In the absence of disposable options, women in North Korea rely on traditional methods, such as cloth pads that can be washed and reused. Limited access to condoms. Contraceptive methods, including condoms, face severe restrictions in North Korea, making it incredibly challenging for individuals to obtain them. The government maintains strict control over reproductive health and family planning, resulting in limited access to reliable contraception. Jeans banned. Kim Jong-un, the leader of North Korea, has implemented a clear and strict ban on jeans and Western clothing in the border regions neighboring China. This measure aims to combat the influence of Western culture and preserve the country's national identity. The ban prohibits the importation, sale, and wearing of jeans and other Western garments in these specific areas. Social class-based allocation. The government in North Korea plays a significant role in the allocation of housing and employment to Korean families based on their social class. Through a centralized economic management system, The government determines the distribution of resources and opportunities, taking into account factors such as social standing. Housing assignments are made based on the family's social status and other criteria set by the state. Similarly, job placements are influenced by the government's policies and decisions, which can vary over time and across regions. Restricted religious freedom. The North Korean government tightly controls religious activities, and religious freedom is heavily restricted. Buddhist temples are preserved for their cultural significance, but active worship is limited. Christianity, in particular, is closely monitored and viewed with suspicion. Religious communities, including Christian groups, face significant challenges in openly practicing their faith due to the strict government oversight. Access to religious information and the discovery of religious sites can be difficult due to the government's tight control. Limited mobile phone access. Out of a population of 15 million, nearly 1 million North Koreans own mobile phones. However, their usage is heavily restricted. International calls are prohibited, and the use of 3G networks is limited. Instead, the focus is on domestic communication and accessing a state-controlled intranet. Foreigners entering the country can purchase prepaid SIM cards that allow them to make calls solely outside of North Korea. Restricted internet access. Access to the internet in North Korea is highly restricted and controlled by the government. The majority of the population does not have access to the global internet as we know it. Instead, there is a limited intranet known as Kwangmyong, which provides access to a curated selection of websites approved by the regime. The Kwangmyong intranet is tightly regulated, and its content is heavily censored and monitored. It primarily serves as a tool for disseminating state propaganda and promoting the ideology of the ruling party. Websites available on this intranet are carefully selected to align with the government's narrative and maintain control over the flow of information. Guidelines for photographing statues of leaders. When visiting North Korea, it is important to be mindful of the guidelines and rules regarding the photography of the leaders' statues. Specific regulations may vary, but there are general principles to follow. When taking photos, ensure that the entire statue of the leaders is captured in the frame, without cutting or reducing the image. It is also recommended to avoid folding or covering a newspaper or any other item, displaying the image of the leaders when in the presence of the statues. Restricted travel. Leaving the borders of North Korea is an extremely challenging endeavor for its citizens, with only a select few granted permission, typically for educational purposes abroad. However, this privilege is primarily reserved for the elite class, making travel a luxury beyond the means of the impoverished population. The Pyongyang airport offers a limited number of international flights connecting to destinations in Russia and China, but access to further locations is restricted. Even within the country, the general population faces significant limitations on domestic travel. A simple visit to a nearby city requires prior government approval, underscoring the stringent control over citizens' mobility. Thank you for watching today's video. If you found it informative, we invite you to subscribe to our channel. Feel free to leave a comment below, and be sure to stay tuned for more exciting videos coming your way.